Today we're going to be talking about the reveal of all of the OP14 leaders and all of the SRs in OP14. We have early access to them because in Japan they do live stream during tournaments and other things, and they announce them in Japan. So we kind of get them really early in the morning. That's why I'm straight out the gym. It's 8 a.m. We're recording this for you guys, giving you all of the cards because we already had the leaders spoiled. Now we are going to go through the leaders and then talk about cards that specifically support those leaders. So we'll talk about Boa Hancock and the new support that supports her. Then we'll talk about Dofi and the cards that support him, etc. So if you like the video, as always, like and subscribe. We're going to be doing deck profiles as soon as these kind of cards hit the sim. Yes, it's going to be a while, but we're going to have EBO3 support very soon, and I hope you're excited for so many more things. We're coming into OP13. We got pre-releases next week. We are going to be cooking up real nice here on the channel and all over for the One Piece card game. So if you're excited, like and subscribe, and let's talk about these cards. To start, of course, we have the Boa, as we mentioned, and we're going to talk about the Boa support. This is a 2-color leader, blue and yellow, that has 4 life and 5,000 powers. We're the Kuja Pirate type and the 7 Warlords type. We've already seen Kuja Pirates and 7 Warlords support in blue, so I'm expecting a lot of yellow support as we go through this. It says opponent's turn, when your character is played, draw 1 card. So on your opponent's turn, cards are getting played out, and you're drawing cards for it. So that's telling me that we're triggering out of life with Kuja Pirate type bodies or characters in general. We're just trying to play cards from our life. Now, specifically, this does not say when your Kuja Pirate characters or anything like that. It just says when your character is played, draw 1 card. So any character that counts Kikinojo, freaking any card that triggers out of life that can work in this deck will draw you a card. So when you get a body on the board and you get a card in hand. Then it's ×1 Dawn once per turn when one of your characters with the type Amazon Lily or Kuja Pirates with an original power of 5,000 or less or 5,000 or greater is KO'd. Your opponent adds 1 card from the top of their life to their hand. So we have the yellow effect of basically just when one of your cards is KO'd, your opponent takes a life. And against 4 life leaders, this is going to be a 4 life leader skill check, I feel like, because going against 4 life leaders and they consistently have to take life while also countering out of attacks in at face. If there's good support for this, which we're about to find out, if there is some good big support, this could be really broken. I think this is stronger than Koala, in my personal opinion, just because it stops your opponent from attacking your board, which in Koala, they don't really attack your board either, I guess, because you have so many big bodies coming out from the 8-cost dragon. But with this, I just don't know if they can do it so much. I mean, yes, it is only once per turn, so if they kill one thing, they clear your whole board. So maybe that's the game plan. Wait till you can clear their entire board and then clear 1 card to then clear the rest. That might be an option, but I'm not confident in it. Do you starve this deck because they have the ability to draw cards when you hit them? Like, what do you do to take down Boa? And that's something we're going to find out in the future. Now, this is the leader, of course. We're going to also cover the alt arts because the alt arts have been already shown. So this is just the base leader, though. I think it looks really nice. It's Boa Hancock, and you guys probably love Boa Hancock. I just know we're specifically only going over support from OP14, so if there's EBO3 support we're missing, just know we're specifically not going over that, so deal with it. We're focusing just on the OP14. There is probably support that's coming out in EBO3, which comes out before OP14 in the East, but for us, we don't really have that. So here's a 4-cost 5k Kuja Pirate type with a 1k counter. Activate main once per turn, give 1 Rested Dawn card to one of your Kuja Pirate type leaders or characters. So this is going to help us always turn our leader effect on. It seems like we have a going second curve just based off going 4 into a Dawn. That kind of makes sense. It also has the trigger, if your leader has a Kuja Pirate type, play this card. So you get to play this out of life and draw a card while also getting Arrested Dawn. I think this card's really strong actually in the deck. Getting that free Dawn every turn helps you into blue, purple, or red, blue ace because they're a 6k leader. Getting that extra Dawn, also always turning on your leader effect. This is something that like Nami would have needed. A card that triggers out that can also give you Arrested Dawn every single turn, and it's an activate main because we were supposed to get that 2-cost character, but imagine that 2-cost character, that promo, actually had trigger as well to trigger out of life. That would have made that card really good. So for me, I think this card's going to definitely be a staple in the deck as a 4 of, because what else would you want to do on 4 Dawn? I mean, I don't know. We haven't seen the support, but a 4-cost 5k that when it's KO'd, you also get to take your opponent's life. So your opponent doesn't really want to clear it, so then you can continue to get Rested Dawn. It seems pretty freaking good. Now we have the yellow event here. You'll Frighten Me is what it's called, and this seems pretty broken. If you have 2 or less life, up to one of your opponent's active characters cannot attack this turn. Playing really well into the Boa leader effect, and obviously here's the alt art. It's kind of blown up, or the art in general kind of blown up and big, so we're going to kind of ignore that. But I just want to at least show it off a little closer because you guys are probably Boa simps because I know how you Boa people are. This is a really good card. It's like slow beam, except not a 2 Dawn card that rests the character. Instead, this just stops one of your opponent's characters from attacking completely. I also want to mention This is 7 Warlords of the Sea searchable and Kuja Pirate searchable, but also on top of that, when you go around the back and think about all the things, this is not leader locked. This is not leader locked at all, which I think is going to make this a staple card when this comes out that you're going to want to pick up. Any yellow deck can play this. Up to one of your opponent's active characters cannot attack this turn. So if you play Goldie Roger and I have 1 Dawn active, your Goldie Roger is no longer attacking me. That's the end of the story there, if I have 2 or less life. So I can basically just negate an attack for 1 Dawn. That's basically a 15k counter, a 10k counter. You got a Goldie Roger, it's a 9k counter, you know? Like, this just gets you out of any attack, forces your opponent to play around it properly, because even if you're bluffing the 1 Dawn, they still have to play around it in case you did have that event. Needing to get value out of the bigger attacks first, similar to like when you play against Jewelry Bonnie, where you have to attack the big characters first, or they would just rest them anyways, their leader effect. So now you have to think about that with this card. This card is going to be a staple in yellow. I'm going to be running this in Vegapunk for all I care, dude. This, I'm excited to see. If you have 2 or less life, up to one of your opponent's active characters cannot attack, sign me up in Vegapunk. We're always 2 or less life, boy. Let me tell you, we feeling good. And the trigger to play to 1 character with a trigger and 6,000 power less from your hand. So it's like Rayquaza 2, except from hand, so we get a body on the board. Oh yeah, I'm liking this card a lot. This is going to be in my Vegapunk deck. This can be in any yellow deck, and I hope you're ready, yellow players. This is the card for you. I think this is going to be the best card I've seen so far. Here we go. We got some more Boa Hancock support. This is the Gorgon Sisters, meaning her and her sisters here with the snake as well, included as one of the sisters, I guess. This is a 2k counter, 6 cost, 5,000 power, so a really weak stat line there being 6 cost and 5,000 power. Normally you get a 6 cost with 6,000 power, or a 6 cost 7,000, or 6 cost 8,000 if there's enough power, but with a 2,000 counter, that has to mean there's something good here. Activate main. Once per turn, you may reveal 3 cards of the Amazon Lily or Kuja Pirates type from your hand. You may attach up to 1 Rested Dawn to each of your characters and leaders. If your leader has a Kuja Pirates type, play this card as the trigger. So we get to play this out, draw a card from trigger, and then on our turn, play out, let's say there's an 8 cost card, because we're going on the even curve, because that's what it seems like this deck likes. Then we get to play an 8 cost, and then reveal 3 cards from our hand, and play 1, 2, 3, 4, how many ever characters we have, they get one of those Rested Dawn. Meaning against a red-purple ace, they are going to be down bad. This could be some red-blue ace counter right here. This card with a 2k counter on top. So basically it becomes a 6 cost 6k because it's an activate main once per turn, right? Activate main once per turn. This can be every single turn after this card is played. We're getting 1,000 added to each of our characters. Now, I also want to mention, this does not say anything about you can only have 1 Gorgon Sisters on the board or anything like that. So I could go Gorgon Sisters, Gorgon Sisters, Gorgon Sisters, 3 Rested Dawn, Rested Dawn, Rested Dawn, across the board until obviously we're out of Dawn completely, and just swing in for some really big attacks. Because I don't even have to attach the Dawn to every single character. So if there's like a 1k that I don't want to put the Rested Dawn because I'd rather put it on a different character, if I have multiple of these on the board that are triggering out of life, I'm getting a lot of extra Dawn and power, included with the 4 cost 5k we saw earlier that's giving our leader Rested Dawn. We're turning our leader ability as active every single turn, it seems. And this just seems really freaking good, dude. This is good support right here. I wish it wasn't so locked, of course, because having to reveal 3 Amazon Lily or Kuja Pirates, it just makes sense. Don't get me wrong, because this card would be broken if it wasn't. But imagine this card in other decks, it would be insane. So, hey, absolutely crazy card right here. I'm excited to see what we can cook, because it doesn't say your leader has to have these types. You just have to have the cards in your deck. So let's see if we can do something with this in the near future. This is exciting stuff right here. This is really good OP14 support. Now we have Rendo. Rendo I don't remember ever actually seeing in the anime. Prove me wrong if I'm wrong, but I don't remember her. This is Rendo right here. All right, we're going to read some more about Rendo. Hold up. I remember her now. I don't, but, you know. Anyways, opponent's turn, on KO, add 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life pile. Then take 1 damage. So it's basically like drawing a card. I don't fully understand that one. You gain a life, and then you take the life. You take a damage, meaning that it could trigger a body out if it does have a trigger. So if we're playing into the trigger archetype, this card, when you take the damage, does activate triggers, because it specifically says you take 1 damage rather than add that card to your hand, right? So now we're able to trigger out cards during our opponent's turn on this card's KO. So we force our opponent to take a life from KOing this card with our leader effect. Then we gain a life, take that damage. If it has a trigger, we trigger it out. If it doesn't, well, if it does have a trigger and we trigger it out, then we get to draw 1 card from leader effect. And if it doesn't have a trigger, we just get to draw that card to our hand. So it's basically like we go even, positive, net, neutral with this card in our hand. A 5 cost 5k with that much power that's also getting Rested Dawn from the Gorgon Sisters. I like that a lot. If your leader has a Kuja Pirates type, play this card. That's also amazing trigger right there, basically playing Boa. Boa is looking really good so far. I mean, we've only touched on one of the 7 leaders, and the support is absolutely insane. And now I think this is the final card to be shown for the Boa Hancock deck. This is Boa Hancock herself, a 9-cost, 10,000 power character, 7 Warlords and Kuja Pirates. On play, if your leader has a 7 Warlords type, add 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. Then add up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life to its owner's hand. And then it has the trigger to play 1 card with trigger and 6,000 power or less from your hand. So it's like the 9-cost Jewelry Bonnie, but a little weaker. It doesn't have Rush. Of course, the deck that plays the 9-cost Jewelry Bonnie really needs the Rush. This also gains you a life, though, instead of Rush. So it's kind of strong in its own way. Guaranteed, I mean, technically, though, your leader does have to have a 7 Warlords type, so it really only works in Yellow Boa right now, and it could technically work in Yellow Black Gecko Moria, which we haven't covered yet. So maybe that's something we can cook up with. Altogether, though, I think it's a good card. I mean, it's basically just like a 9-cost Big Mom instead of a 10-cost Big Mom. Granted, the card at the top of your opponent's life is not trashed. It's rather just goes to their hand, which I think we've seen Bandai would rather do that than trash the top of our opponent's life, at least with big statted characters like this. They've gone away from Tenlin, and they've gone more into their own, like, take your opponent's life, unless you're playing like a 6-cost Nico Robin, which only has 6k power, so they really lowered the stat line and put parameters to have 3 or more life to do so. Cards like this, you can do at any time, so gaining life and taking your opponent's life is always going to be good. And of course, here's the art for you guys. We haven't seen the alt arts for these, but the support looks absolutely insane. And all we've done is cover Boa Hancock. There's so much more to cover here with all these other 6 other leaders, 7 leaders total in one set. We haven't had that since like OP03, which had 8 leaders. So I'm excited to cook up, man. This deck looks like a lot of fun. Now we're going to talk about Dracule Mihawk, a 5-life, 5,000... Now we're going to talk about Dracule Mihawk, a 5-life, 5,000 power green leader, so basically just really similar to Zoro, that has the slash attribute and the 7 Warlords typing. Only 7 Warlords, does not have the Shigure Kingdom or whatever they were throwing on with other Mihawks. It says if your opponent's leader has the slash attribute, this leader has plus 1,000 power. So going into like a Zoro match, a Rayleigh match, basically any leader that has the slash attribute, you are a 6k leader, which I'm not going to lie, that is really busted just anti-slash support, so this is going to do really good into other slash leaders, but it's also going to do good into the mirror, or it's going to be interesting into the mirror, because both of the leaders are 6Ks, so we're going to have to see how that mirror match goes, and if this leader actually is good, because I'm not super confident in this leader, I'm going to be honest, but we'll just have to see. Activate main once per turn, you may rest 1 of your cards, that's cards specifically, so any type of card, a Dawn, character, whatever you have on the board. If you have a stage on the board, you can rest the stage. There are plenty of options here to rest. It just says cards specifically. That means any card that is on your specifically your side of the board. If there is a character with a cost of 5 or greater on the board, set it to 3 of your Dawn cards as active. Then you may not play character cards this turn. So sounds like we're going more into an event style deck because we're not allowed to play characters, which I think is really important to think about when you're structuring your deck. Because, I mean, you can play like Electrical Luna, that's 3 Dawn right there, and you freeze your opponent's entire board. Definitely an option to play in the deck. I really don't know where this leader's going. Not being able to play cards this turn, character cards this turn, doesn't really seem that great. You can't fully go into a 4-cost like event like Dead Man's Game. You have to have a 5-cost or greater on the board, so it seems like another green deck that kind of loses to removal, but again, I'm not 100% confident in that. It just seems like more Fraud Hawk out there, so we'll have to see through the support that we're about to check out. And the first thing is, of course, going to be this event here. This event actually fits with our 3-cost parameter. Main, so the 1 cost in the top left is your first cost. Then main, you may rest 2 of your cards. So that's 2 Dawn or 2 cards. So again, characters, whatever you need to do. Draw 1, then rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters with an original power of 7,000 or less. So we can rest it down, freeze it, do things like that. The normal green shenanigans. It seems okay, but just resting a character with 7,000 or less for resting 2 of your cards doesn't seem great. 3 Dawn or 1 Dawn and 2 characters, I mean, it kind of just depends on what other support you get. I'm not loving that event, I'm not going to lie. Then it has the counter to give your leader plus 3,000 power for this battle, specifically only leaders. That's how these main / counter events are, because main, it just chooses just during your turn, and counter obviously is, you know, on your opponent's attack. You can counter out with the attack, but remember, it does only target your leader. I'm not loving it. I'm just not going to lie. I'm not loving it. Then we have Humandrol. I always forget how to say this. It's a 2k counter with the Monkey Kingdom and Animals type. During your turn, when this character is rested, rest up to 1 of your characters with your opponent's character they cost of 4 or less. I'm not gonna lie, I don't hate that. I like where they're going with this, because with your leader effect, you rest the character itself to then rest, you know, to then get the 3 Dawn as active to swing big into a character while resting their character to then attack big into it with the 3 Dawn. I see where they're going with it. I also like that this is the animal archetype and has 4,000 power. Like, untalked about, like, chopper support, red-green chopper. This could actually be good because we can attack in with it. When this character is rested, maybe that, no, that doesn't count. I mean, it does go rested when you attack, though. That's a weird ruling right there. I'd have to ask, like, an official judge, because technically the card is rested when you attack. The card becomes rested. Do you get to rest a 4 cost on attack as well? Or is it just, how does that work? So answer that one down in the comments down below for all the judges out there. I'm a little confused, but this could be some chopper support maybe, because it has the 4,000 power threshold that we kind of need. It's a 2k counter we can play in the deck. It actually has a good ability to rest cards on your opponent's board. Like, I'm just going to say, I'm not hating it. I'm not hating it, so we'll have to see how the Humandrel does. I'm not liking it for the deck we were going to play it in, you know. I'm not liking the Mihawk, the Fraud Hawk, but hey, that's my opinion. So here's that event again. The original one was called something different. This is called Killing Time. You may rest 3 of your cards, KO up to 1 of your opponent's rested characters with the original power of 7,000 or less. This is a whole different card. This is totally different. It's a 1 cost, so it costs the 1 Dawn, and then rest 3 of your cards. So that would be 3 cards on the board, Dawn, characters, whatever it is. You can do whatever you need to do. And then KO an original power of 7,000 or less, but it has to be rested. So we have to play one event into another event. That's why the other event allows us to draw cards, so at least we're not losing so many cards in hand. But that doesn't feel good. Tapping 7 Dawn just to KO a 7,000 power character seems really freaking slow. And then we get to restand 3 Dawn and swing 8 into our opponent. Maybe 9 if they're a slash leader, but probably not. More than likely they're not a slash leader, so like, I just don't think that's good. Like, I don't think that cooks. That's a lot of commitment. Having to commit resting 3, 4, 5 cards and 2 Dawn doesn't seem good. So I guess we'll just have to see how that does play out, because technically you can play a card and then rest the card that you play, and then go through things that way, and then restand the Dawn, then rest those Dawn as well as the card that you played, and do things in a weird specific order. But for me, I'm just, again, not loving the Mihawk leader so far. Here's Kinemon. This is slash support, but it's not really Mihawk. It says on play, set 3 of your Dawn cards as active. Then you may not play characters to your field for the rest of this turn. When KO'd, rest up to 1 of your opponent's cards. I mean, you could definitely use this in Mihawk, and I could see why it's slash searchable as well. It actually seems like a pretty strong card, especially, I mean, in sealed format, this is going to be insane. Kinemon, the GOAT, like, he's a great character in the show. So, I mean, I'm not going to say this isn't Mihawk support. You can definitely use it, because you tap 4 to play this. Then maybe you can, you know, tap 3 more to rest some Dawn and cards and do things. And then you can restand 3 Dawn to then do a different thing with those 3 Dawn, but none of them can be characters that you play out. Because, of course, this does not allow you to play characters, and your leader effect doesn't allow you to play characters. So, synergy there by taking away the same thing, that they can both work the same way, and you can get 6 total Dawn back after you play this Kinemon. You can go Mihawk into Kinemon, restand 3 Dawn, leader effect, up to 6 Dawn is active, and then now you can't play a 6 cost, but you have 6 Dawn to swing in aggressively, or to do whatever you really need to do. So, we'll see if that cooks. I'm not confident in it, but we'll have to see. This also allows you to rest up to 1 of your opponent's cards, specifically cards, meaning you can do Dawn, you can do characters, you can do leaders. I mean, you can rest whatever you need to rest. So just keep that in mind, that does specifically say cards, as long as that's the correct, reading of the translation from Japanese to English. Cards is a really strong effect there, especially if you rest this card as one of your cards that you rest to then restand your Dawn. That could be pretty freaking strong, man. Then we have Odin. This is going to be some Odin support. If this character is rested, give it plus 2,000 power during your opponent's turn. So it becomes a 4 cost 7k with a 2k counter. It's definitely not bad, because I mean, you can attack in with it for 5k. Then when it's rested on your opponent's turn, it's a 7k that your opponent has to KO, basically, because you're not going to attack into a 7k without power reduction. So you can definitely see this in some maybe red-green Odin. You can see red-green Odin also running the Kinemon. There's a lot of combinations of decks other than just the Mihawk that can use this. So I'm excited. I think this is good generic green support. It can also be used as just a generic 2k counter that's slash searchable in many decks going forward. So this Odin, I'm excited to see how it does going forward. And it just looks like more green support that doesn't really support our boy here. Like, it might, but I guess we just have to read it. Because, I mean, it's slash, so maybe that's how it supports it. But that doesn't really support the leader itself. We have green Isho here. 6 cost, 7,000 power, Dressrosa Navy type. Dressrosa is a really good typing because of the stage, but that does rotate out in April. Your turn, when this character is rested, you may add the top card of your life to your hand. If you do, up to 1 of your opponent's rested characters or stages do not become active during the next refresh phase. So this is the first sighting of freezing your opponent's stages. I actually think that kind of cooks. I like that idea, especially going into Emu. If we played this on, like, let's say an 8 Dawn turn, that could be really strong. Let's say we're on, or we could go into 10, play the 8 cost Mihawk, restand 4 Dawn, play 6 cost Isho, use our leader effect, rest the Isho and another card, get 3 Dawn as active, and freeze one of our opponent's stages with a 6 cost 7k. There's definitely some, like, cooking there. I'm not fully in love with it, but I think it could be good just because of the strength of stages in the current format, going against Emu specifically, and being a green deck. I think this can help you out against those matches, but it's only good if you have the ability to rest this card when this character is rested. It's really slow if the when attacking does also proc the rested part, but if it, if you're playing it in a Mihawk deck, I think it could be good. Now we have the new Shanks. This is a green character, 7 cost, 9,000 power, and slash searchable. Slash is one of the most important things, as it can also be played in the Mihawk deck. Your turn, when this character is rested, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with the original power of 7,000 or less. So we can actually combine this with the event we were talking about earlier. So maybe that makes that 7,000 power KO event a little bit stronger thanks to this Shanks. Then it says, opponent's turn, if this character is rested, all of your opponent's characters get minus 1,000 power. That's pretty good, actually. If we can chain a lot of 7 cost 9k Shanks, even in the slash archetype, dude, that could be really freaking good. Giving minus 1,000 across the board, even in a deck that doesn't specifically have the Mihawk, dang, that's kind of busted. Imagine we get 2 or 3 of these out, like we're in a really good spot, we're attacking it aggressively, and we're kind of nuking our opponent's entire board. We're getting a 10 cost Shanks effect just for having this card rested, meaning you can attack with it, or you can proc it with your leader effect for the Mihawk. This is probably the best support we've seen so far. The Isho is just okay. This is actually really freaking good. Then we have Kikinojo. This character becomes active at the end of your turn. It's okay, because it's something you can use that's slash searchable and can be used in Mihawk, and it's a 2k counter. Because what we can do is rest this card as one of the cards we rest for our leader effect, and then restand it at the end of the turn. So it basically just never goes away, guaranteeing we always have a card to continue to use. But against removal, it's just not that good. So it's usable, it's not the end-all be-all. Then we have Yasuka. Dude, this guy's got so much support we've got to talk about. Holy cow. Your turn. When this character becomes rested, choose up to one of your opponent's rested characters that cost a 4 or less. That card cannot become active during your opponent's next refresh phase. So you freeze down a 4 cost. It's not horrible for a 2 cost. I think I'd rather see this in the East-Blue archetype of Blue-Green Sanji Zoro, because it's a 2 cost that we can use over and over again. But the part where when this character becomes rested is kind of too slow for Blue-Green Sanji Zoro, so maybe it just doesn't really work. You can use it in Mihawk, but I don't think it's going to be a 4 in the deck for sure. I think it's just okay to say the best things about it. Same thing with Johnny. Johnny and Yasuka go together. When this character becomes rested, KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 2 or less. We don't really ever worry about KOing 2 cost rested characters. Like, what are you attacking in this 2 cost? Only into Rayleigh, maybe, would this be good? Maybe we need that for the Rayleigh match, but we're a 6k leader against Rayleigh, and we have 5 life. So we're really on par with that deck already. I don't think Johnny's necessary for the deck either. Then we have Tashigi. Opponent's turn. If this card were to leave the field by your opponent's effect, you may instead rest one of your cards. Specifically cards, so you can rest Dawn, characters, leaders, whatever it is. If this card were to leave the field by your opponent's effect, rest 1 card. That means you can also rest itself, so that is really important to think about, because resting itself basically just is really good anti-removal synergy. They can attack into it after that, but with the second effect, activate main once per turn, you may rest 2 of your cards. This character gains plus 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. We become a 5 cost 8k that rests itself to not KO on the turn that it's played, and we can also use this over and over again, just becoming an 8,000 power attacker. A 5 cost 8k with a 1k counter is a pretty dang good stat line. I think this is like a 3 to 4 of in the deck. I think it's pretty strong. We'll just have to see how it does going forward. Now we're on to the stage. Every deck gets a stage nowadays, it feels like. So this card says, on play, if your leader Dracule Mihawk, draw 1 card. End of your turn, if your leader Dracule Mihawk, set 1 Dawn as active. So it gives you cards to rest for your effects that kind of have anti-synergy. So if we were going to play the Smoker, we can then, rest the 1 Dawn as one of the 2 cards that we have to, or one of the cards that we have to rest instead of resting itself. Or if we attack in with this, then we actually have a card to rest, which is going to be the 1 Dawn. Or we can use 1 Dawn counter events. We get a 1 Dawn at the end of the turn. And this is, let me specifically say this, none of these effects say you have to rest this card to do this effect. You don't have to rest the stage to get 1 Dawn as active. Instead, you can now rest the stage as one of your costs, because again, I mentioned earlier, you can rest stages as one of your cards because they all specifically clarify cards. No parameter on it. So you can rest the stage as one of your costs and then also get a Dawn as active at the end of your turn. It's definitely not horrible. It's not searchable in the deck unless we get like an East Blue package, which we do have like East Blue searchers, but we don't have 7 Warlord searchers. We're probably going more into the slash searching archetype. so it's going to be hard to consistently find it. I think it's good. I don't think it's like the most important card that you can play in the deck, but we'll just have to see how the meta goes going forward. And finally, here is Perona. Up to 2 of your opponent's characters that cost of 5 or less cannot become rested until the end of your opponent's next end phase. On KO, you may rest 1 of your cards. Play up to 1 green character that costs of 5 or less from your hand. Now, I want to say, this is Mihawk support. It's Monkey Kingdom, Thriller Bark Pirates, so it has the archetypes for, you know, Perona. That's like, it is Mihawk support, but it's got the typing for Perona. It's a 5 cost, which can't be played like off the new Gecko Moria 8 cost event that's coming out in EBO3 that we're not even going to talk about because that card just busted. It's Gecko Moria, but without a Gecko Moria coming out. But anyways, this is a really good statted character, 5 cost 6k with a 1k counter that stops 2 cards from becoming rested, that stops them from blocking, attacking. This is going to be something we're going to see a lot that I've seen so far in the OP14 set, is stopping cards from going into rest so they cannot block or attack or do anything. So we're just stopping our opponent's board from attacking us, and we're stopping their board and they're stopping our board, and it's going back and forth. Now, if you play this in Perona, you can minus the cost of a character and then stop it from attacking or stop it from going into rest, which is really strong with cost reduction. So I think this is more Perona support than anything, but you can definitely use this in Mihawk just because, I mean, it's not going to be searchable, but finding it seems like it'd be pretty good, stopping 2 cards from going into rest, just because it's 5 cost, so you're stopping 5 cost anything rather than being more specifically like a stat line like how a lot of the Mihawk support with 7,000 power or less. This is really strong because it just stops 5 costs. 5 costs are just so strong, you know, Sanji Pudding, Smoker, like, there's so many good rush options that are 5 costs, so many good 5 cost or less blockers, 4 cost Marco. You're stopping all of those things from happening on curve. I think this card's really freaking good. Now, this is probably one of the most hype reveals that we've seen so far, Don Quixote Doflamingo. You know it's your boy Doflamingo. We all love Doflamingo. If you don't, you're probably kind of crazy and haven't watched the One Piece show. 5 life, 5,000 power, 7 warlords, and Don Quixote Pirates type. On opponent's attack, once per turn, Don -1, select your leader or up to 1 of your Don Quixote Pirates type characters, change the attack target to the selected card. That's absolutely insane. So basically we get to pull the strings of the battle and make things happen how we like it. And we're going to talk about all the alt arts at the end, just going to give you a little review of all of them. But for now, we're just covering the leader effects and the cards that support them. This card could be absolutely busted. Oh, come my way into Don Quixote Pirates type characters, or making them attack your leader so you can just take the attacks instead is absolutely absurd to save your board. Basically, when we look into this, there's cards that just make this deck broken, dude. I'm so excited to share this one with you guys. It's kind of insane. So that's going to be your Don Quixote Doflamingo leader, and I think I'm going to be cooking up a lot with this leader. We do have a Everwhite stage, or I mean event here, that is a 1 cost main. You may rest 2 of your Don cards. If your leader is a Don Quixote Pirates type, add 1 Don from your Don deck as rested. So it's similar to our other events that just ramp a Don. So we are looking to be a ramp focused deck, getting into our 10 Don as soon as possible, then probably using our leader effect. You know, we can Don -1 and still go back up to 10 Don after we gain our Don for our next turn. So just resting 2 Don to ramp a Don is pretty good, while also having a counter event that gives your leader up to 3,000 power during the battle. So the late game, we can still use this as a strong counter event that we don't need to ramp anymore for. Cost event, I'm happy with it, especially if we're playing the 8 or the 5 cost Rosinante that's restanding Don. We're gonna be playing a lot of counter events that also pair with our leader effect, Don -1, attack this character or the leader, and then also 2 cost counter out of whatever you have. Judgment of Hell is going crazy. This is going to be a really good leader, man. I'm excited for this card specifically, and just the leader itself. I will go ahead and say there's not a ton of support that's been shown so far for this leader, so bear with us, as I think there's only 3 to 5 cards that are totally shown, including the SR, of course. We have Dellinger here, a 1k, 1 cost, 2,000 power. Add up to 1 Don card from your Don deck as rested, then look at the top 5 cards and reveal up to 1 Don Quixote Pirates type and add it to your hand, then place the remaining at the bottom of the deck in any order. So this is the searcher, so we can go Don we play this out for 1 Don on our first turn. When they attack us, we go Don -1, they have to attack into this character specifically, so we just stop the attack. Then we get the Don back as rested, so we don't lose our ramp pieces. So if we're ramping up aggressively and we're using our leader effect now to attack into this character, we would go down and Don. But now this adds the Don as back as rested, so that's kind of insane. Then it's also a searcher. Like, tell me this doesn't cook. I can play this down on a 10 Don turn. I can play a 9 cost down. I can play this down. Rosinante's already on the board. I'm restanding 2 Don. I'm playing Judgment of Hell, and I'm leader affecting Don -1. Attack this card. I get a Don back. So now that we went -1 for Judgment of Hell, -1 for our leader effect, now we're back up to 9. So now we could even go back down to 1 more. Like, It's insane how this can combine with so many cards while also drawing us a card from the top 5 of our deck so we can grab the cards that we need in specific situations. This card is actually kind of insane, and I think this deck's going to be probably one of the best decks going forward from OP14. I might be glazing here, but I just really like this deck. Then we have Gladius. This is a 3-cost 4K Don Quixote Pirates. On KO, Don -1, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a base power of 6,000 or less. So that is specifically on KO, so if they attack into it, or if we Don -1, because of course, they can attack into these cards, and that will proc the on KO, or we can leader effect and get them to attack into them. The only issue I see with Gladius, I don't see Gladius being played specifically because it is Don -1. If we're trying to ramp into something, which we haven't seen what it is exactly, but I'm assuming we're ramping into something big, this just kind of doesn't work. I want it to work so badly, it just won't work, because Don -2. Don -2, we basically just go back, so we'd need to be on a 10 Don turn to go back into 10 Don, but if we're on a 6 Don turn, and we Don -1 for our leader effect, and then Don -1 for Gladius, now we're back to 4 Don, going back into 6 Don, that actually puts us behind. So what were we ramping for in the first place? Gladius is too, the synergy doesn't work, so Gladius just won't work in the deck, but it's still an interesting deck altogether. It can be used as a tech option, maybe in like Emu. I see an Emu Marco message down here. I guess you could use it in Emo to rest one of their blockers when they attack and kind of get through the characters, but we'll see that we kind of have some Emu tech anyway, so I don't think we have to worry about that. And here is our last card that's been revealed for purple Doflamingo. That's Doflamingo himself, a 10-cost 10K, similar to the green card stat line, 7 Warlords and Don Quixote Pirates, similar to the green card stat line. On play, Don -3. Choose one of the following. If your leader has a Don Quixote Pirates type, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 8 or below. So that's pretty good, just removing a body off the board for 3 Don, and then we can ramp those Don back using cards and stuff that we have. Granted, we go back into 8 Don because we Don -1 for leader effect, then we go gain 2 Don, ramp up. But if we're playing 8-cost Katakuri, which nobody's even talked about yet, just as a blocker itself, and then we're ramping our Don back, then we're going into 10 Don on the next turn. Don -3 is a little difficult to deal with though, so we do have to think about ways to ramp back just after proccing this leader, or after this card to chain them. They've specifically made it where you can't chain it, so we need a card that's getting us Don at the end of the turn, and that would probably be the 8-cost Katakuri that I was just talking about, because we go 8-cost Katakuri into 10-cost Doflamingo, and then -3 Don, and then we ramp 1 Don back at the end of our turn with Katakuri, and then we get to play another one of these on the next turn. It has the secondary ability that says up to 3 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 7 or less cannot become rested until the end of your opponent's next phase, or until your opponent's next end phase. What are we doing here? So you're telling me into an Emu on their 10 Don turn, we played on 10-cost Dofi, I stop your blocker, I stop your blocker, I stop your Najjuro. All of those are just done for at that point. You can't attack with them, you can't do anything, and you need to chain another 10-cost. Because if I have a way to chain another one of these, you're cooked, buddy, you're cooked. I think this card is absolutely insane. I think it's really good into Emu. I think it's really good into aggro. The only issue is Ace. Ace is the issue that I'm seeing with the blue or the purple Doflamingo deck, because specifically we don't have anything for the 10-cost new gates, and that's a problem. So we need to find a way to kind of get through that and the deck itself. If we can find a way through the red-blue Ace match though, I think we're going to be in a really good spot. Inherently, we can get rid of the big attacks just from our Don -1, which obviously is really strong, but I think we're still missing something. We're not there completely, so when we see more support, I think we'll be able to take on that match pretty well, but we're definitely taking down Emu. I have no clue about Zoro. I think we can stop one of their attacks. We can just stop the Zoro attack and make them attack our leader instead, so they only get 1 attack and we get to save our board. Bro, oh my god. Dude, we're cooking up. This deck is going to be a lot of fun. Maybe they don't give us cards to beat Ace because we need to be put down a peg, but this leader looks like it's going to be really freaking good. Now we get the blue Jinbe leader, 5 life, 5,000 power, Fishman, 7 Warlords, and Sun Pirates type. Activate man, you may trash 1 card from your hand, give up to 2 rested Don cards to one of your Fishman or Merfolk type characters or leaders. I will mention, this is specifically talked about a lot to clarify, this is not once per turn. So you can use this multiple times because we'll see certain cards that have certain effects that force you to discard cards up to a certain amount. So you have to hit like 5 cards or less in hand. So what you can do is just chain your leader effect till you have 5 cards in hand after you draw these cards from your blue cards that draw cards. Find the specific pieces you need, discard the ones you don't for the certain matchup. And I think this is going to be a very consistent, strong, draw-powered deck. We are still going to play 4-cost Marco. That card's just busted, being able to draw 2 cards as a blocker. We're also playing our other Fishman and 7 Warlords type cards. I'm excited to see how this does. I love Jinbe as a character. Personally, I think it's one of the weakest leader effects. It's stronger than the Yellow Bonnie, because that only gets you 2 Rested Dawn every turn, but this has draw, power, filter, and finding all the combo pieces you need to do just so much more. So Jinbe, definitely better than Yellow Bonnie from the last set, but the Jinbe itself is not the strongest leader we've seen. We have cards like Fishman Jujitsu, Ocean Current Shoulder Throw. It's a 2-cost event. It says you may rest 3 Dawn cards, play up to 1 Fishman type with a cost of 3 or less from your hand, then return one of your opponent's base power of 6,000 or less to the owner's hand. So you get to tap 5 Dawn total to play out a 3-cost. There must be some good 3-costs we can cheat out, which seems pretty good because we're tapping 5 Dawn, but we get to return a 6,000 base power or less. So if we are consistently playing 3-costs, it's okay. I'm just going to be honest, it's just okay. If we're consistently playing 3-costs though, we at least get 3 Dawn worth of value, and then the 2 Dawn is just 2 Dawn to bounce a 6-cost, or 6k is really just not bad. But if you're not playing a 3-cost, 3 Dawn to bounce a 6k is okay. If you're playing a 1-cost out, 4 Dawn total, and then you're playing a 1-cost, that would mean 5 minus 1, so 4 Dawn to bounce a 6k, not that good. That's personally at least how I feel. Then we have the counter, draw 1 card, then add up to 3,000, your leader gains up to 3,000 power during this battle. So it's a 2-cost that replaces itself and gives you 3k counter. It's okay. It's just okay. I don't love 2-cost events that give plus 3,000, although it does replace itself in hand. 2 Dawn is a lot of cost to do that. I wish it was similar to White Snake, where it'd give us a draw 1 plus 1,000 for the entire turn. I think that'd be a little more enjoyable, because at least it gets us through multiple attacks in certain matchups that we may have a difficult time with. To get in some more support, we have Wadatsumi. This character cannot attack. When you have to discard a card from your hand during this turn by an effect, the effect of this character is negated until the end of your turn. So it's a 3-cost 5k, 2k counter that can't attack, so we can negate its effect by using our leader effect to then attack. So we discard a card, get 2 Dawn, and then this card can then attack that next turn, or that turn that we discard the 2 cards for the 2 Rested Dawn. Jeez. So we can tap the 5 Dawn, then this is the card that we probably want to be cheating out, but it will be a 2k counter we're losing in hand, but it's a strong 2k, 3-cost 5k, so amazing stat line there that can be cheated off that event. I just don't think it's that good, just straight up. But I also said that about Green Jinbe, thought that leader wasn't that good, and hey, now it's one of my favorite leaders to play. So anyways, this card, it's okay. It's good for what the leader does, but any other leader, I just don't think this card really cooks. Maybe you could use this in a Kuzan deck, but the Kuzan deck is just so tight, it feels like. So it's hard to put this in there and slot it in. But a 3-cost 5k that can attack because you just discard cards kind of fits that deck pretty well. Then we have Fisher Tiger here. On play, if your leader has a Fishman type, draw 3 cards. So going +3 in hand size is absolutely insane. There has to be something going on with it. End of your turn, discard cards from your hand until you have 5 cards left. Okay, so basically, if we're at 5 cards in hand and we played on Fisher Tiger, that's -1 card in hand. Then we draw 3, so now we're at what? 4 plus 3 is 7. So now we have to leader effect twice. So we have to have 2 cards that can attack in. We discard a card, get 2 Dawn, discard a card, get 2 Dawn. Granted, you can attach all those Dawn to your leader, or you can split them up with other characters and attack it a little more aggressively, a little more wide. You can go heavier, you can go lower, basically whatever you want to do. You get a body on the board though, and you get to filter the hand. It's basically a draw 3, trash 2 at the end of it, but you get 4 Rested Dawn. If you think about it in that way, I think it seems a lot more strong. Draw 3, trash 2, and you get 4 Rested Dawn. That makes this card really valid and a great option in many decks. I think this card's actually going to cook up pretty well in the deck list. I think it's going to definitely be a 4 of. They are playing into the going second curve, which they've been doing a lot recently, Bandai. Can we do something about going first? I get the purple Doflamingo deck wanting to ramp up and go first that way, but I'm not loving it. I'm not loving that every deck has to play going second. Now we get into the blue SR Jinbe. Blue character, OP 14, 49, yada yada, 8 cost, 10,000 power. When you discard a card from your hand during this turn by an effect, this card gains Rush. So an 8 cost 10k with Rush. On play, you may rest 2 Dawn cards, draw 2, and return one character with a cost of 7 or less to its owner's hand. So if we're playing this on a 8 Dawn turn, we can just play it as an 8 cost 10k rush option. Discard a card, put 2 Dawn on a leader, swing 7, swing 10. Really strong and formidable. Now, when we play this on a 10 Dawn turn, we get an 8 cost 10k with rush that draws us 2 cards and bounces our opponent character. Okay, The blue support's looking pretty damn good. If we can get to the 10 Dawn turn and we're playing this, drawing 2 cards and going up in hand size, then discarding a card, get 2 rested on our leader, 7, 10, bounce a card, boom. We're doing pretty good. Blue Jinbe is a lot better, cooking up really quickly. Like, I was sitting here shit talking literally 1 card ago, and now my brain's flipped around. This card is actually pretty good. I think getting Rush on an 8 cost 10k is really good. It's hard to remove, and you get value right away. I didn't like the on play. You may rest 2 Dawn cards, then draw 2 and return 1, yada yada. I thought that was too slow. We have to get to the 10 Dawn turn to do it, but now I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, we can do this. We can do this with ease. But again, it is playing into that going second curve, having to get to 8, having to get to 10. I'm not loving that, but it'll do. It'll do. If you do have a card that discards cards, it's technically not leader locked, where you must discard a card to give this card rush. It doesn't say in a 7 Warlords type deck or a Fishman type deck. If you have other cards that discard cards, this could also have rush. You could also play this in Kuzan. If you can get the 7 cost Sakazuki out, then you can play the 8 cost Jinbe, draw 2 cards, bounce a card, discard a card for the Sakazuki to get a rested Dawn on your leader, and then Sakazuki, you attack with leader, attack with Sakazuki, attack with Jinbe. It is an option for Kuzan, I would like to mention. Other than that, though, it's just a really strong blue card. I'm excited to see how it does going forward. Now we have Crocodile, a fully mono black leader, and it says all of your opponent's characters cannot be removed from the field by your effect. So a black leader that can't play removal is absolutely insane. I think they're waiting to block rotate all of the good removal, and I'm happy about it, dude. Screw black removal. It is horrible, and it ruined so many of my early games trying to get into the One Piece card game. I mean, I hate Emu too. I just think black, they just can't figure it out. I hope they figure it out someday. Bandai, you got this. I really believe in you, but they probably won't. Anyways, activate main once per turn. You may KO up to 1 of your characters with the type including Broke Works. So you KO your own cards to give up to 1 of your opponent's characters minus 10 cost during this turn. Then you may trash 2 cards from the top of your deck. So we're KOing cards on our board, specifically KOing, so if they do have on KO, it does actually proc, so just remember that. You do have to specifically KO a Baroque Works type. You can't do like any random card with a good on KO, but your Baroque Works type that have on KOs, you can actually trigger off of the leader effect, give a card minus 10, and then fill up your trash with trashing 2 cards from the top of your deck. So you trash the card that has the on KO, and you trash 2 more cards. So we have the ability to fill up our trash, which is really important going forward with black decks, 5 life leader. Crocodile, I don't know. I really don't know what they're doing here. We need to see the support first, because this is either going to be like amazingly busted or it's going to be the worst thing ever printed. Let's start with Ground Death. 1 cost black event, it's a rare. You may rest 2 of your Dawn cards and negate the effects of up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less during this turn. So specifically, it doesn't say like base cost or anything, so you can KO 1 of your cards to then give it minus 10 cost and then negate its effect. So we can negate any card on the board, which is kind of cool, but it's only during this turn. So it's during your turn specifically. If we don't want to KO a card on our board, we can just stop a 5 cost. If we want to do more, we can stop a 10 cost. Then it says if your trash has 10 or more cards, give up to 1 of your leaders or characters 4,000 power during this battle, but you have to have the 10 cards in trash. So I like that parameter, having to have the 10 cards in trash to then get a 4K counter, but a 4K counter is really freaking strong, especially into a deck that, you know, we don't really know what it does yet, but it should fill up trash pretty consistently. Within 3 turns, this is a 4K counter consistently in the deck, thanks to our leader effect. Miss Wednesday, black character, 1 cost 1,000 power and a 2k counter. Activate main, you may trash this card up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a 0 cost, gain minus 3,000 power during this turn. I do like this. I actually think this is kind of strong. You just trash the card to give a card minus 3,000, and you use your leader effect trash. So the only issue here is having enough cards on the board to KO them all. So you can like leader effect, KO a different card to then make a card minus 10 cost, to then be a 0 cost, to then use this card and trash itself, to then give minus 3,000. But that is a lot of moving around to do one thing. I'm not insanely in love with that, because now we're having to trash 2 cards on our board to just put something down 3,000 power. That doesn't really seem good. It may be used as a good 1 cost 2k counter, but for the most part, I'm not loving that. That's a lot of cost just to give something minus 3,000 power. Then we're playing Mr. 5 right here. Black character, 5 cost, 6,000 power. Counter, plus 1,000. It's a blocker. On play, if there's a character with a cost of 0 or 8 or more in play, draw 2 and trash 1 from your hand. So again, that's really freaking weak, dude. We're going back to OPO1 with Queen, STO4, like starter deck 4 out here with Queen, Dawn minus 1, draw 2, trash 1. That was like a $50 card at one point because nobody could get the damn starter decks. This is stupid. This is one of the stupidest cards I've ever seen. Draw 2, trash 1 is good, but it's not that good that I'm putting it on a 5 cost 6k. Like, at least give me a 5 cost 7k with a 1k counter. Like, something that's like, oh my god, that's actually pretty good. Now I have to KO a card on my board, make a card 0, or hope you have an 8 cost turn, which if I'm playing this on an 8 Dawn turn, I'm really behind because I'm not playing big bodies and you're just playing big bodies. Unless you're playing a 4 cost that gives itself plus 4 cost and maybe I'm doing okay. That would be the only time this really gets good value. Other than that, I just don't think this is that strong. Alright, the only other card that we've seen that actually does something that might be a little better, it's the only SR we've seen so far for Mr. 2, Bon Clay Bentham. This guy, we all love him. He's one of the greatest characters in all of One Piece. On KO, play up to one of your characters with a cost of 5 or below, including the Broke Works type in its types, other than Mr. 2, Bon Clay Bentham, from your trash or hand. So, we get to play cards from trash, which is really nice. This also has the on KO, so you can leader effect to KO this card to then play out another character. So we can play this out for 4, wait a turn, attack in, KO it, give something minus 10 cost, then play out the 5 cost that draws 2 and trashes 1. But so far, the support just seems really lackluster. We can also attack in, just let this be rested and force our opponent to KO it by attacking into it. If not, we just can constantly get an attack in. But that doesn't seem like it would fully work. I'd rather have a 5 cost 6k blocker or something like that. It seems like this is going to be a going wide black deck that doesn't have the trash recursion so far. Like, this is not strong enough trash recursion, and the effects just haven't been strong enough for me to say Smoker is going to be a good leader. For me, I'm probably thinking this is probably one of the weakest leaders in the set, and I think they just can't figure out how to do black leaders from here on out. They either make them too good like Emu, or they make them like this, and it doesn't seem too hot. Now we got Kuma, the Kuma leader. Oh, wait, another Trafalgar Law leader. Never mind, my bad. Trafalgar Law here. Activate main once per turn, select 2 of your Supernova or Heart Pirate type characters. Swap the base power of the selected characters with each other during this turn. 7 Warlords, 5 life, 5,000 power. It's great for a Law ability. Like, the card's awesome. I'm a Law fan to death. Pun intended. You see what I did there? But the thing is with this leader, bro, we need Akuma. We have seen enough Trafalgar Law leaders. I've had my red-green. I've had my yellow-green. I could have handled not getting a Trafalgar Law leader this set and just moving on to something different. I would have loved Akuma leader. Akuma's become one of my favorite characters in all of One Piece. It goes Law, Akuma, Jinbe, like my top 3. If you could have given me all 3 in one set, why can't we do an 8 leader set and just be like, oh, there's that technicality from the show that we're actually more than the 7 Warlords. We're the 8 Warlords because the one that switches out for the one, like the things, the stuff. I'm just not trying not to go into too much detail, but yeah, I'm not loving it. We are slash leader, so against Mihawk, they do get plus 1,000 power, becoming a 6k 5 life leader. Absolutely absurd. But I think we're really, really aggressive here with the Trafalgar Law. Basically, you play a small character and a big character, and then I attack you with a big character, and then I say switch the base power and attack you with the small character that now has 10,000 power. Now, I will say specifically, if your opponent plays Lucky Roo, like something that KO's base power, the leader itself says swap the base power of the selected characters. So not like power buffs or anything like that. So you're swapping the base power. So if something says KO a 4,000 base power or less, now, if that card triggers out of life or they block with Lucky Roo, it actually pops your big character. Now, the 2 characters have already swapped, so you will still be able to get your big attack in. I believe, at least don't quote me on that, but I'm not sure. Anyways, but you kind of just lose a lot of value there of the on KO, Lucky Roo, and cards like that KO base power that could actually be really strong against this leader specifically. Now we do have this 1 cost event. We're kind of starting every leader with a 1 cost event. It says counter, if there's a character with 8,000 power or more, your leader up to one of your characters gain plus 4,000 during this battle, because we need more 4k counters for 1 Dawn. Why not? And that counts for either person's side of the board. If there is a character with 8,000 power or more, that's you or your opponent. It just says a character. That's counting the entire board here. Your character leader gains plus 4,000. It's a radical beam without having to be at 2 life. Then trigger, play up to 1 red character with a base power of 2,000 or less from your hand, which plays into our leader effect because we can just play out a little body and then swap them and then be like, pitch a big. So kind of the game plan here with Trafalgar Law. I'm excited to see this as a new aggro option. I like it way more than Silver's Rayleigh. I hated the Silver's Rayleigh deck. It's really good. I just hate playing it. I think I'm going to have a lot more fun playing this because, I mean, it is my boy Law over here. That's my guy right there. So I'm going to enjoy it, but I also miss Kuma. I wish they would have done something with him. So we have Beppo. This is a Heart Pirates type, something that you can switch the power of the characters. When attacking, if this character has 5,000 power or more, give up to 2 Rested Dawn cards to one of your leaders or characters. So if we swap this 2 cost Beppo with another character, so let's say we play a 4 cost 5k with Rush, attack in for 5k, swap the 2, we attack in for 5k with Beppo, then we get 2 Rested Dawn to our leader from playing the 4 cost, having the 4 Rested Dawn, and then put those 2 Rested Dawn on leader, we get to swing 5, 5, 7, That's pretty strong. You can also swap it obviously with bigger characters. It doesn't have to be 5,000 power. It can be 5,000 or more, and you're still getting rested Dawn to one of your leaders or characters. It also doesn't have to specifically put the Dawn on the leader. You can also give it to itself because it does not clarify other than this card. So you can swing Beppo for 5, so you can swing 5 with leader, 5 with the other rush option, then attack in with Beppo by swapping the power, and then give 2 rested Dawn to Beppo to swing 7 with that, which would be a better order of operations in my opinion. You also have Sachi and Penguin. This is another Heart Pirates type, so you can swap the power. When attacking, if this character has 5,000 power or more, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn. We've seen this with Sachi and Penguin before. They always give minus power, or they ramp Dawn. If you have less Dawn, then you have more Dawn. They're kind of weird. Cool characters and all, but not my favorites. Beppo's the guy. When attacking, if this card has been... So we can power minus and kind of control the board a little bit. So we can swing in with like a 5,000 power. Then we can swap the power and swing in with this, and maybe minus down there 5,000 power to 3,000, and then attack in on that body, and then swing 5 with the leader into it, so they have to counter aggressively from hand, or we get to control the board. Board control is great. Sachi Penguin, I'm actually excited for. I think this card's going to be pretty good in the deck. I would like to mention we already have a large amount of Supernova support in red, so we're actually already eating good on that side of things, so we're going to probably mainly see Heart Pirates, but here we do see Supernova specifically, because this is Monkey Luffy, a 1-cost, 0-power searcher. On play, look at the top 5 cards, reveal to 1 Supernova type card other than Monkey Luffy, add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. When attacking, up to one of your opponent's characters gain minus 1,000 power during this turn. This is Supernova, which is crazy. You have a 1-cost 5k searcher, or 5-cost searcher, or top 5 searcher, geez Louise, a 1-cost top 5 searcher that grabs your Supernova, cards that you need to play to swap the power, then you swap the base power, attack in with the character, then attack in with the Luffy after you swap the power, and minus 1,000 power to their leader. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. I really enjoy that. I think you can also just attack in with this for free, just to give minus 1,000. So if you don't need to clear a body, or maybe you swing into a 0-power searcher if you're on your opponent's side, you can then give a different character minus 1,000 and swap the base power of 2 different characters later on. So you don't specifically have to have this be 5,000 base power or more. This can just give minus 1,000 just for attacking in general. So this can be used in any generic red deck just as a top 5 searcher for a Supernova type leader or a Supernova type package. The only thing I think I didn't cover is specifically this card says if this character has 5,000 power or more, as well as this card says if this character has 5,000 power or more. Specifically, it does not have to have 5,000 base power or more, so you could use attach Dawn to up the power. If you attach 3 Dawn, now it's plus 3,000 power to the 2,000. Becoming a 5,000 power character is really strong, so you can still use this effect without actually swapping the power of the 2. Same thing with Sachi and Penguin, or if you have power increasing abilities. So if I play an event that gives plus 5,000 power to a character, that makes Sachi and Penguin a 7,000 power. Now I can attack in with Sachi and Penguin and give them minus 2,000, and then swap the power of 2 separate characters because they only swap the base power, so that plus power wouldn't be included. Same thing as attached Dawn would up the power, but not the base power, so swapping those powers would not be included. The Dawn does not swap with the power. Just remember that. So a few little key things here with this deck that you need to know. Okay, we are on to the last deck of OP14, the last leader of OP14, a 4-life, 5,000 power, 7 Warlords, and Thriller Bark Pirates type. Activate main. Once per turn, you may KO one of your own Thriller Bark Pirates type characters. Your leader and all of your characters gain plus 1,000 power during this turn. So, synergy with the stage that came out for Thriller Bark Pirates, that's a black stage called Thriller Bark, that you just rest, I think, 1 Dawn or 2 Dawn to play out a 2-cost or less from your trash that's rested. Then you can just KO it with this leader effect to then give plus 1,000 across your board, giving you a lot more power increasing abilities. Rather than just attaching Dawn, you only have to rest the 1 or 2 Dawn to play a card from your trash. Then you KO that card, and you get the on KO, which is absolutely insane because certain cards like mill cards or give power reduction or cost reduction. Like, there's some good on KOs of 2 cost or lower characters in the Thriller Bark package that this card can continue to cycle over and over again. We have the secondary ability that says when attacking, you may trash 3 cards from your hand, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. Now, I don't think we're going to consistently use this ability unless we need certain cards in our trash, but I do think this is going to be a pretty strong leader in the end game, just being able to gain that 1 extra life when you need it, rather than, I can just ditch 3 bricks if I'm bricked up too much, just to gain a life rather than, worrying about other things. Then we can get triggers and do things that way. You do add cards from the top of your deck, so not from your trash. It would be really cool if you got to choose a card from your trash to add to the top of your life, but that would be completely busted. This leader seems like it's going to be really good. It's going to be aggressive yellow-black, and I think we're seeing a lot more aggressive black rather than board control black, which I do think is good. I just, again, still hate Emu, and I'm probably going to hate this deck too, because I think in the right player's hands, using that new event that's going to play out 2 characters in the trash and do all these crazy combinations, this is going to be pretty freaking good. Now we do have this event here. Look at the top 3 cards, reveal 1 Thriller Bark Pirates type, and add it to your hand, then put the rest in the trash. It's just a top 3 searcher for Thriller Bark Pirates, and it fills up your trash consistently, which you kind of need for the yellow-black leader. It's just okay. It's not a big deal. It's just a top 3 black searcher. It is what it is. And then the only other support we've seen so far is the 8-cost Gecko Moria, giving me PTSD, making me scared because of what this card used to do. And it's an 8-cost 10k power character that on play you may play up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less with the Thriller Bark Pirates type from your trash, or add it to the top of your life cards face up. Trigger, play 1 character with a cost of 4 or less from your trash. So this is actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's not as good as the 8-cost 9k Gecko Moria that played a 4-cost and a 2-cost out. One is active, one is rested, and did all the combinations and removed your whole board. But it's still really strong. Great stat line here. You can also gain life off the ability, then attack with your leader and gain more life if you need to. It all really depends on the 4-cost yellow package that Thriller Bark Pirates get and the generic support, because we could put cards that would trigger out, or blockers maybe that trigger out, or cards that gain you life that would trigger out. It would really just depend on what those 4 costs are and how we can go kind of even in hand size while also losing hand size, being the black deck, gaining life with our leader, and going through all these different combinations. I do think this is going to be a skill-intensive deck that's actually going to be really strong going forward. I think so far, I think black-yellow here is going to be really good. I think blue-yellow Boa Hancock is going to be really good. And I actually think red Trafalgar Law is going to be a solid pick. I think it's going to be more middle tier, but I do think blue-yellow and black-yellow are looking to be some of the best decks in the set. Now, we're going to do some coverage on the alt arts here, so we're going to make this a little bit smaller so I can show it a little better for you guys, just so you can see it. But I do want to show you guys the alt arts to end things off, because that's all the support for all the leaders. So here they are. We have Trafalgar Law. This one is cool. I like how his hand is. I like that it says death right across it. It's nice. But for me, on a lot of these, I don't like the area where the lighting is coming in. It just doesn't really fit to me. Like, I don't like where the light's all coming from the top here, lighting up the top part, but the front isn't lit up. For someone like Trafalgar Law in an aggressive deck, not my favorite. I think it's a cool card, though. I mean, obviously, Trafalgar Law, I'm not going to complain. Like, dude, he's really sick, but it just does not compare to something like the OG Trafalgar Law. Like, I think that card's sick. I think it looks so much better. And it's basically just the same thing, just different, you know? Which I guess it's Trafalgar Law again, so it's going to be really similar. But he got the same shading on his eyes. The eyes look a little different. These look a little darker, a little more dense. There's a little more definition to his hat, which I kind of like that too. Like, the hat just looks really poofy and like it's like made out of sheep, but like in actuality, it doesn't fully look like that. Sometimes it's grimy and dirty. It's just not my favorite Law art, but I mean, I'm still gonna get it, you know? I'm still gonna get that art. Mihawk here, I will say the Mihawk actually is tough. I like the definition. I think it's really cool. You can see his vein popping. Like, this is gonna get your girl wild, and I'm just gonna be honest, dude. Mihawk is a badass. He is a fraud hawk. Like, he doesn't really do anything in the anime so far, but at the end of the day, he does look pretty damn cool. I think it's really cool how it has a shirt. I think he looks neat. I think it's a nice art altogether. This sounds a little sus, but it is what it is. Mihawk, pretty cool guy. I like the eyes. I think that's pretty sick. Dude, put him on a Tinder profile already. I don't know what I'm doing here. Jinbe looks a little too cartoony for me. I wish they would go a little more like realistic here with someone like Jinbe. But at the end of the day, this is still probably one of my favorite leaders. I like the what do you call it? The distance, I guess you can see and everything. I just don't like how he's always so grumpy looking, you know. Other than that, though, I mean, I do like that you can see his Sun Pirates tattoo. I do like his hand giving it distance, definition. I don't freaking know. I even like that his hair starts to get taken over by the blue coloring in the background. That's kind of neat as well. And you can see his arm sleeve, I guess, going back. I don't even know what that is. What does he have, 4 arms? Like, what is that, just the back of his jacket? I don't know. That's kind of weird how that one's portrayed. That's kind of throwing me off now, actually. I like it. I mean, it's Jinbe at the end of the day. I think it really fits blue. It just looks cool being all blue, but it's good. It's good. It's good. Now, Boa Hancock, just go ahead and take your glances. Go ahead and do what you need to do. I mean, I guess you could pause right here, maybe cut my face out so you're not, like, gooning to me, but, like, there you go, guys. Not my favorite, actually. I actually think this leader looks horrible. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's way too kawaii. Like, it's going too much into that, like, I get that's Boa's whole aesthetic, but, like, also, that's not her full side, you know? Shows she has a huge-ass forehead, and the eyes are just what's getting me, man. It just... You make all of these characters look super cartoony and goobery, but then you make this one look really cool. And then you're going like kind of goobery here, and this guy looks pretty cool. And then you're going goobery, and then this girl looks pretty cool. You know, it's just too much of like, I don't like the synergy here. I think you need to go one way or another. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you. It's cool. It's not my favorite. I'm not a Boa Hancock guy. But see, this is badass. I like that his middle finger's up. I like that he's flipping you off a little bit. I do like the little, like, how he's doing it. I think it looks sick. His tongue going to the side where you can see the shadowing from the tongue. I like this. This is super realistic. I think it gives more definition to the character. The strings look okay. I'm not gonna lie, that they are kind of like, they kind of look pretty bad, but the shadowing, the coloring on the back, like, I actually think everything else looks really solid. I guess he has a tongue string there. No, that's the gleaming off the glasses. The glasses look sick as well. I like that you can't see his eyes. He's got his earring. Like, bro looks badass. I'm trying to look like Doflamingo someday. Like, that's the goal, man. I wish they would have put a little more definition in the teeth other than that, but I feel like that would have taken away from the character altogether, so I do like how they did it. I think Doflamingo, I'm glazing here, but Doflamingo is one of the coolest characters of all time. Crocodile, see, you're telling me, bro, you're giving me this goober, this guy right here, versus ChatGPT versus real man-made art. Like, let's just call it what it is. ChatGPT made this guy. You got this from the Odyssey video game. I don't know what we were doing here. The sand looks cool. Everything down here at the bottom actually looks badass. But what is this face? Like, this cannot be the real art. There's no way he looks like that. That is horrendous. It looks so animated. It looks like that sucky Berserk artwork. Like, that is not good. When you compare it to something like this, even this looks better. This is like a 3 out of 10 and it looks better than that, bro. Like, absolutely insane. I hate the Crocodile leader. I think this card's miserable. Probably gonna be a $2 leader one day. That looks that bad. And same thing with Gecko Moria, bro. This guy, he's supposed to be a goober. Like, I get that. He's supposed to be kind of weird looking. But, like, dude, he's in the dark. He is evil. He is a bad guy. He lives on an island covered in darkness. Why does he have a light on his face like this? Like, why does he have the light literally just, hey guys, Gecko Moria here. I'm right here, guys. Do you see me? You see the bright light? I'm Gecko Moria. I hate it, man. I hate it. This leader looks awful. I'm like, 3 of them look okay. The rest just look horrible. Like, just 100% transparency. I hate this leader. I think, like, the face is cool and everything, but I just don't like the lighting on it. The lighting on it's really getting me. Why is there a super bright light over here, and then there's a super bright light here, but they're both different colors? And then why is it, like, super shadowy around here? I just don't get it. Like, why is that not bright as well? Because his head's not covering the light that's covering here, right? So why would there be shadow here? I just don't get the angle and the distance, because how are you lighting this, but not this? It doesn't make sense. The artwork here, art review, not good, Gecko Moria, not good. You did not pass the test. All right, that was a really long video about covering all of OP14 spoilers, SRs, leaders, and everything like that. I hope you enjoyed, because that was a really freaking deep dive. It took a lot of work. Not really a lot of work, actually. I mean, I kind of just threw a video together and was like, let's make a video today. It took me an hour to record this, though. I'm not going to lie, that was a really freaking long time. I appreciate your support, your likes, and if you like my ideas. If you don't, hey, leave a comment on that, too. I really don't care. Just leave a comment. It helps me out, or it hurts me. It actually hurts me when you comment. Please don't comment. That's how I'm going to get you guys to comment. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one. A peace.